Well, it's not easy to say why one paints the potteries. I came to the potteries with a great dislike for it, and it took quite a long time before the atmosphere of the potteries took hold of me. But I think the things that really make it so attractive to a painter is the quality of the atmosphere and the unusual skyline, which is a feature of the hill towns which stretch out along this particular area. The features are, of course, the bottle ovens, now far fewer than they used to be, and they're so varied in shape and contour, and these, with the huddles of factories, particularly in the Longton area, give it a picturesque quality which I think you can find nowhere else in this country. I can't see, in fact, any of the modern factories attracting the artist in quite the same way that old Samson Smith's or the Bluebell pottery or the Garfield in Longton, or even, for that matter, the now nicely tidied up factory of the Gladstone. The rule of the school which I attended as a boy was, if you make a mistake, leave it, which was accompanied by an unwritten rule invariably carried out, that if you make a mistake, you will be punished for it. Rather harsh, but induced the habit of thinking before putting pen to paper. The rule, without the punitive implications, is a good one for artists. The time spent in thought is equally important with that spent in applying the colours. Good watercolours are generally remarkable for economy of statement. The artist indicating his intention plainly, simply, directly, and often with surprisingly few but happily placed touches of colour. Such a picture may well be painted in a half an hour or less, because all the real labour has been done before in what may be described as hours of industrious idleness, during which the painter, having found time to stand and stare, has come to grips with his subject. Freedom and force can only be achieved by working out of doors in direct confrontation with the subject, and by drawing and painting with a brush fully charged with colour. It is best done, in my view, by painting with the board nearly vertical, holding the brush at arm's length like an oil painter. There is much to be said for this manner of painting, although it demands considerable skill and even more courage and confidence. It is also physically much more tiring, just because the artist becomes so completely involved in his or her task. Moreover, in high March winds, painting in this way becomes even more arduous and exciting. The freedom, however, which the method produces more than compensates for the effort. The opaque method is a more considered manner of working and makes subtle shades and tones of colour. It is essentially a studio method, and in the studio one is not troubled with flies or heat or sun or wind or weather. The transparent method has an element of spontaneity, the brush being used with the fluency of a pen, and the touches of colour take on the character of calligraphy. And because of this less measured approach, transparent watercolours at their best possess an intimacy and an immediacy of appeal.